Do you guys believe this shit?
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility.
So, Diddy, in recent years, has a viral video of him assaulting his ex. And if you guys can see that little circle right there, that's just the epitome. That's just the beginning of it. It gets worse. I definitely cannot show that on YouTube, but there's some people on the internet defending this guy and feeling sorry for him and actually thinking that he's being apologetic. Now, we're going to go through his history in a second. But guys, if you are fooled by this video right here, you're a sheep and you're going to get led to slaughter by a lot of people. The video is playing right now without any audio. Just look at his eyes. Does his eyes seem sympathetic or do they seem dead on the inside? Look at his eyes. He don't seem empathetic, apologetic. And in the original apology video, he runs to God and asks for God's grace and mercy. I mean, that's what everybody does. They run the same play, the same playbook, because they know y'all lean on God, Sky Daddy. And there ain't nothing wrong with religion, nothing like that. But when people do fucked up shit and then they run to God, like, bro, like, it makes that shit unbelievable. So, in case you guys forgot about Diddy, let me give you a upgrade. Let's run through his history right fast. We got a couple videos that will just serve as an intro. There's a YouTube. These are the clips from the YouTube documentary on surviving Diddy that somebody did on an expose of him. So before we get too far into it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you like the video. Let's get into it. This is going to get crazy, guys.
Of all the nonsense, Puff was truly a genius at discovering and developing artists, and in the process, he was gaining immense wealth and power in the industry. As you would expect, the success got to his head pretty quickly. By many accounts, Puff grew an obsession with having complete control. He wanted control over everyone around him, even for the silliest things. So here is the first example. The year is 1995 and Craig Mack is eager to continue his success, so he puts together his third studio album, one by the name of Operation Get Down. The story goes that he brings the album to Puff to get it released, but things don't go as planned. Puff allegedly tells Craig Mack that if he wants the album released, he has to fire his manager and then hire a bad boy manager. But Craig's manager is one of his closest friends and has been rocking with him since day one. Because of this, Craig is loyal to him and tells Puffy no. Even though it's a silly request, Puffy is pissed because he doesn't have control over the situation.
Puff told Craig Mack if he didn't change management, he wasn't with him no more. Craig wasn't getting rid of his management. Craig said, yo, listen here, man, I'm not changing my manager just because you want to. Puff said, yo, I ain't that kid no more. Not at all. I was right there when he said that. Told Craig Mack, you don't change your manager, I ain't fucking with you.
Craig stands on his principles and refuses to fire his manager, so Puffy decides to be petty. He completely stops paying him and refuses to release his music. This made things awkward at Bad Boy, as Craig no longer had the power to control his career or his narrative. In this 1995 interview, you can see the awkwardness on full display. Like, Craig Mack could not believe that Diddy would really lie on camera like that.
I'm sure you got much things in store for my man.
Yeah, definitely. We got a new album we're working on him to drop in January.
You can see the disbelief in Craig Mack's face, like no way he's saying this. From here, frustrations grew further between Bad Boy and Craig as Craig felt betrayed by his boss. I was your first artist. I was the one who took the risk and signed to your label. And more importantly, I've made you a whole lot of money. And now you're willing to throw away my career over a silly manager. What is going on? But not only did Puff want his career to dwindle, it's also rumored that he wanted him killed. Craig knew what Puff was capable of, so everywhere he went, he rolled around with a blicky, something very risky in New York City. He even contemplated getting rid of Puff in order to save his own life.
I had a gun in my lap. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking to God. I'm like, Lord, I don't want to do this. But if it comes to getting ugly where somebody's going to be trying to kill me, I'm going to have to do something first or do something to prevent that from happening.
In what world should an artist have to fear for his life because his own boss wants to harm him? Well, Craig says that Puff tried to set him up at the studio, but when he showed up with certified goons, he decided to back off. So thankfully, the situation didn't end terribly, but it was the start of a new era for Puffy. Not only had he become a control freak, but now he was bringing the threat of violence to the table. Slowly, the golden child of the industry was becoming the villain behind closed doors. Regardless of
Y'all believe that dude damn apology, bro? Y'all out of y'all fucking mind, bro.
And now we enter Diddy's violent.
This dude is like Lex Luthor in the flesh, bro. And he still hadn't been put behind bars, even after that video. Like, you would assume, as a matter of fact, I think somebody said they can't put him behind bars. Let me look that up right fast while you guys are watching this.
And now we enter Diddy's violent era. While the Craig Mack drama was taking place internally, a whole nother beef was stewing in the industry. By the fall of 1994, Bad Boy had competition for rap's biggest label, and this would be California's Death Row Records. Particularly, Tupac had become the biggest star in rap, and everyone wanted a feature. In this case, Uptown Records producer Ron G wanted Tupac to record a verse for Biggie Smalls, so Pac asked for
My bad, guys. But yeah, this is the little Diddy can't be charged. Won't be charged for 2016 Century City Hotel beating up his former girlfriend that became public on Friday. The Los Angeles County District Attorney Office announced. Okay. The video depicts him wearing a towel and socks, throwing Ventura onto the ground and kicking her repeatedly. He then grabs her purse and large bag before kicking her again and dragging her away. A civil complaint filed by Ventura last year says Combs paid the hotel $50,000 for the security footage, citing the statute of limitation. The DA's office said it found the video disturbing, but charges can't be filed due to the amount of time that has passed. We are aware of the video that has been circulating online allegedly. How are you talking about allegedly? That's fucking Diddy. Depicting Sean Combs assaulting a young woman in Los Angeles, the statement reads. We find the images extremely disturbing and difficult to watch. If the conduct depicted occurred in 2016, unfortunately, we would not be able to charge, as the conduct would have been occurred beyond the timeline where a crime of assault can be prosecuted. Bro, get the hell out of California. You can't do nothing in California about defending yourself. California is cooked, bro. Now, let's go further into this.
So Pac records the verse with, and now we enter Diddy's violent era. While the Craig Mack drama was taking place internally, a whole nother beef was stewing in the industry. By the fall of 1994, Bad Boy had competition for rap's biggest label, and this would be California's Death Row Records. Particularly, Tupac had become the biggest star in rap and everyone wanted a feature. In this case, Uptown Records producer Ron G wanted Tupac to record a verse for Biggie Smalls. So Pac asked for $7,000 and Bad Boy agreed to pay for the verse. So Pac records the verse with Ron G and then is told to go to the Quad Studios in Manhattan to pick up the money. And that takes us to November 30th, 1994. Pac arrives in Manhattan and walks to the Quad Studios. As he's entering the building, he hears some Bad Boy associates yelling his name from the upstairs window. Pac is excited to meet with Bad Boy and he walks in the lobby to take the elevator upstairs. But as he approaches the elevators, two men in masks are waiting for him right there. Before he can run, the men whip out and reach for his pockets. Pac tries to fight them off, but that's when the men make a wild decision. While being carried out of the lobby, Pac flips off Notorious Big and other Bad Boy associates, assuming that they set him up. Thankfully though, Tupac would survive his injuries after a successful surgery. Well, after the incident, Pac wholeheartedly believed that Bad Boy set him up to be killed. At the time though, he couldn't do anything about it as he had his hands tied with a legal case involving a woman. In fact, the day after his surgery, he appeared in court where he was sentenced to 8 months in Rikers Island. While incarcerated, the national story was that Bad Boy set him up to be robbed. On top of this, Pac did an interview while incarcerated where he said that Bad Boy did it overtly. He claimed that when he was on the way to the studios, Puff kept calling him to see where he was. He wanted to know when exactly he would get in, and that was Pac's main reasoning for thinking they set him up. In February of 1995, Biggie released a hit song called Who Shot Ya, which many people think is a Tupac diss. And one of these people was Pac himself, who felt betrayed and lied to by Puff. You told me one thing to my face, but your actions proved otherwise. To an alpha male like Pac, that was the ultimate disrespect. And now we enter Diddy's violent era.
It gets worse, guys.
That takes us to August 3rd, 1995. It's the annual Source Awards in New York City, and Death Row are nominated for Soundtrack of the Year. Of course, tensions are in the air because the show is in New York, and everyone is curious if anything will happen. Well, Death Row wins the award, and Suge takes the stage.
First of all, I'd like to thank God. Second of all, I'd like to thank my whole entire Death Row family on both sides, you know what I'm saying? I'd like to tell Tupac, keep his guards up, we ride with him. Any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
This was obviously a sneak diss at Puff, and the crowd was not feeling it. To make matters worse, Snoop Dogg takes the stage and doubles down.
The East Coast don't love Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row. Y'all don't love us. Y'all don't love us. Well, let it be known then. We know y'all East Coast. We know we at East Coast and F.
This moment here officially kicked off the Bad Boy versus Death Row beef. This meant that Puff's gangster was now being put to the test for real. Being that they exist on opposite ends of the map, interactions would not be often, but being in the same industry, the sides were bound to cross paths. September 23rd, 1995. Here we are in beautiful, well, not at the time, but here we are in Atlanta, Georgia for Jermaine Dupri's birthday celebration at the Platinum House nightclub. Here, much of the rap industry will be in attendance by midnight. Early in the night though, it's just the Bad Boy crew and associates hanging in the club before it opens. This would of course be Puffy, his bodyguard Wolf, Too Short, Dallas Austin, and plenty more. So they're all chilling in the club and a couple of hours go by. And this is when they receive some unexpected visitors. At 10 p.m., the Death Row crew arrive at the Platinum House parking lot. First, a Death Row associate named Big Jake walks in the club to scope it out. He then looks around and sees Puff Daddy and Jermaine Dupri sitting at a table in the corner. He instantly walks back to the parking lot to tell Suge where they are. Then together, the massive duo walk into the club headed for Puffy. They walk straight up to the table, and that's when Suge Knight slaps Jermaine Dupri directly across the face. This is simply to get to Puffy, who's standing right behind him. Suge then grabs Puff by his arm and brings him in. He begins yelling at Puff, but that's when Wolf gets in between them. He tells Suge it's not going to go down like that. So it turns into a brawl, and they're all escorted out of the club. After all this, Suge and Puff actually hug it out and squash the beef. But then out of nowhere, shots go off across the street. So they all duck down and look over to see what's going on. All it is a man across the street shooting his gun into the air. But while everyone is distracted, a man walks right behind Big Jake. That takes us to August 3rd, 1995.
Bruh, that's some ignorant nigga shit, ain't it? It's one particular video I want to talk about. Check this out, guys. We already know about the Cassie thing. Check this out.
Regardless though, Cassie would finally come forward against him on November 17th, 2023. This is when she came forward with a major class action lawsuit accusing him of all kinds of crazy stories. Everyone was shocked, like, whoa, Diddy is cooked. But within just 24 hours, Diddy settled the lawsuit for an undisclosed amount. Many people estimate that the payment was over 8 figures. Just a month after the Cassie breakup, tragic news would come to the Combs family. On November 15, 2018, Kim Porter was found in her Los Angeles home. The news was shocking as Kim was such a beautiful and healthy person. Everyone was hurt and confused as the cause of death was not announced for months after the incident. On January 25th, it was officially announced that pneumonia was the cause, but it usually doesn't take that long to figure it out. And here's where the controversy begins. Rumors state that Kim was in the process of writing a tell-all book about Diddy and her relationship.
Kim Porter was working on a book before she died.
But wait, this doesn't make any sense. She died of natural causes, so what does a book have anything to do with it? Well, Jaguar seems to believe that this is a lie and that they covered up the true story.
Kim died from pneumonia, but there's the first coroner's report that said it was ruled a homicide and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms.
Now, these are some serious claims, so now let's do some investigation. Firstly, the claims that it was initially ruled a homicide have not been proven. However, the fact that it took months to get a ruling is very unordinary. And because of this, a celebrity coroner named Ed Winter was asked to investigate. So, what did Ed Winter find? Well, he didn't find anything, but not for the reasons you'd think. Ed would sadly pass away of a heart attack not too long after. And as you'd imagine, Kim Porter's case has not been opened since. What do you guys think? Is Diddy powerful enough to take out Kim and Ed Winter? It is interesting though, through all the situations, it seems like Diddy is the only one to always make it through. From Pac to Biggie to Shine to Kim Porter to Andre Harrell and to I'll Be Sure. Could all of this be a coincidence, or is it a case of surviving Diddy? Regardless though, Cassie would finally come forward.
If you feel sorry for that motherfucker, you cooked, bruh. You cooked, you fucked, you're a sheep. Stay away from this channel. Get away from this channel. Get out of the comment section. So I don't want to hear anything about prayers for Diddy. Fuck all that. He didn't care about prayer. He wasn't godly when he was kicking Cassie in the head and all that stuff. Like, kill that noise, man. The more and more we find out stuff about the music industry, the more demonic and stupid it actually is. The more I think about it, these celebrities are just attention-seeking whores that will do anything for fame. That's honestly how I feel about it. That might be fucked up, but we can't argue that at this point. Harvey Weinstein, Diddy, Epstein, like All this stuff is connected. So I want to keep this video too long, guys. I wanted to keep it around 20 minutes. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What you guys know this stuff before. What do you guys think? Is he done? Is he going to get charged or not? So that's my video, man. Appreciate you guys watching to the end. If you watch to the end, like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you like the video. And I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Deuce.